Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla. So, the price war continues in China, and 2,000 dealers are about to close shop in this year alone. And the ones bleeding the most are, of course, as we talked about before, the German automakers. And now they're also paying hundreds of billions of dollars to keep their dealership alive in China. But that will also stop in a couple of months. So what will happen then? The situation is truly catastrophic for the German automakers in China right now. And the very frustrating thing for them must be that Tesla is still going strong in China and has become just as big as a player in China as the German premium brands. So let's check it all out and let's dive right in. So, 2,000 Chinese dealers are likely to close shop here in 2024, according to a survey done by Chinese Automobile Dealers Association. More than half of the dealers surveyed in the first half of the year said they would be unprofitable this year, up 7.3% from the year before, the survey found. The association blamed automakers for failing to reduce production to match market conditions. At present, insufficient demand has become a big problem in the automobile market, it said in August. Audi's biggest store in Tianjin, a major city near Beijing, also recently ceased operation after a long-term banking partner withdrew funding, causing a severe cash flow crunch. One of the highest profit dealers' failure is BMW's first so-called 5S store in Beijing. Main dealers in China are typically called 4S stores for their ability to offer sales, servicing, spare parts, and surveys or customer feedback. The outlet made headlines when it opened in 2012 by adding the fifth S for sustainability, which attached wind turbines and solar panels to generate some of its electricity. The Beijing 5S store has shut along with other stores operated by the Hong Kong-listed GA Holding Dealership Group, and BMW said it is supporting dealers partly by helping financing their ability to buy stock. A lot of them are currently in loss. But it's not just about profitability, but also liquidity. BMW's CFO Walter Mertz said at the company's earnings call on November the 6th. The increase in dealer failures is causing banks to become more cautious, worsening the situation for those remaining. That insolvency tends to have knock-on effect on the banking system's desire over there to fund the remaining distributors, said Richard, CFO at JLR. Mercedes will continue to offer similar level of dealer support in the fourth quarter, their CEO Williams said. He cautioned dealers, however, to do their homework in terms of making efficiencies and reduce their footprint to become self-sustainable in the mid-term. Mercedes does not expect to continue supporting dealers into 2025. So we should expect to see even more dealers closing shop in 2025. Because just as I have talked about before, this year the legacy automakers cannot keep up with the EV demand. As of October, about 30% of new sales in China are pure BEVs, and no one of the German automakers are making 30% of their vehicles BEVs, and 60% are plug-ins. And no one is doing that either, even including their plugins. So of course they will fall from grace when they're not producing the product that people want. And when your product is even inferior compared to the homegrown brands, it becomes even harder to sell the little amount you do make. And this will only get worse in 2025 as the EV adoption continues to rise and the price war don't seem to stop anytime soon either. as the Chinese price war is affecting European brands a lot and hitting their profits, as European brands are increasingly being dragged into the price war in China, forcing them to discount heavily, especially at the lower end. JLR said models impacted included the Range Rover EvoQ and Land Rover Discovery Sport, which are made in China. In the mass market sector of the market, it is really, really nasty, Williams said, adding that it is not so nasty yet in the segment of the industry where we really play and where we really rely for our profits. But that will come soon enough. And one of the JLR dealers also said that only the Range Rover and the Defender models were profitable for them. As the Chinese market shifts toward fully electric and plug-in hybrids, buyers are increasingly favoring homegrown brands and pushing European premium brands towards combustion engine-dominated luxury end. In the lower segment, absolutely, there is a very strong competition for the new entry-model BEVs impacting the available market for ICE vehicles. In the top end, there's really isn't yet, Williams said. So this is really hurting the legacy automakers as the price war is dragging their profits and their dealers are dying, and that is putting even more strains on their profits. European brands are having to pay the Chinese dealers hundreds of millions of euros to keep them solvent as demand falls sharply amid the price war in the country. BMW said it spent 3-digit million euros to subsidize its retail network in China, and Mercedes-Benz and JLR also says they have financially supported their dealers. There's been very large discounting of vehicles and overstock at retailers, and this has led to a series of collapses in the retail network over in China, Richard, the CFO of JLR, told analysts on the company's Q3 earnings call. China is a crucial market for the European luxury brand and has been a source of much of their profits in recent years, but lower demand and higher discounting has cut their overall margins in the third quarter. BMW's third quarter in China saw deliveries slide 30% to 147,000 units compared to the same period last year, while its overall profits margin during the last 3 months slide to 2.5% from 10.9% from the previous 3 months. BMW blames lower consumer confidence in China as well as a recall of vehicles with potential faulty brake systems. Mercedes' third quarter also fell to 5.7% from 10.3% during the same quarter a year before. Almost half of that decline came from the effect of BEV stock clearing and dealer support in China, CFO Harald Wilhelm said on the company's Q3 earnings call. The automakers' sales in China fell 10% in the first 9 months to 512,000 units. High profits top-end model, including the S-Class and the GLS, were among those affected, falling 12% globally, mainly due to the subdued market environment in China, the company said in their financial report. Audi did not break down the quarterly result, but said in the first 9 months in China fell 8.6% to 479,000 units. It described the market as challenging in its 9 months report. Overall, the premium market in China fell 8.5% to 1.9 million in the first 9 months, according to figures from the Chinese Passenger Car Association. So Audi sales in China are basically on par with Tesla sales in China. But Tesla only sells BEVs and Audi only has about 9% of their sales being BEVs. So for the legacy automakers to say there is no demand for EVs in general when your competition is selling about 10 times as many EVs as you do, it's probably not the demand that is the problem, as Tesla is selling as many BEVs as you do in overall car sales. So that has probably something to do with your product. So now Tesla has basically become the same size in China as the German premium automakers. But if we listen to the mainstream media, well, they have been trying now for almost 2 years to tell everyone that Tesla is the one that has had demand problem in China. Meanwhile, the Germans' profits are melting away as the price war hits their wallet, but they have also been forced to pay hundreds of millions of dollars to keep their dealers open. And all of this will only escalate in 2025 as China's BEV markets will only grow and Legacy's profits machine, their ICE cars, will only shrink and more of their dealers will die. And all of this when someone like Audi is only about 9% BEVs. They have hardly started this transition to become a BEV company, and they are already finding it hard to stay alive. The really expensive part of the journey has not even begun yet, and they are already firing people and about to close plants in Europe. It is really looking very, very bad for the Germans in China, and I don't really see a way out of this. I hope they can find it, but I doubt it. Audi, like I showed in yesterday's video, is trying to rebrand themselves in China, but I don't think that will save them, but has only added to the expense. So let's see what Q4 holds for the old guys, as Q3 was a terrible quarter for most of them in China. But I'm afraid this was not just a one-off, but just another downward trend in the spiral of death.
And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.